So, hello everyone. Today we are going to try our hand at drawing with pencils. Now, this is what we're going to end up with. So, a couple of important things. First of all, relax, get your pencils together, and I do not use a rubber because I want to see what I'm doing and I want to see the process. As I say, trust the process. So today we're going to look at creating a portrait. Nice and simple. I'm going to use pencils. Now, I use generally 4 pencils. 6B, B is for blackness, HB it's even, hard, and B, hard and black. F is for fine, and B is for black. So I'm going to use the 4 of them. I'll start off with the F in order to create a face. A few simple things to remember. Basic things, the eyes are halfway down the head. And the face is always oval. I just use the pencil. I keep every single mistake visible. So let's start with his head. I keep going. So I'm going to draw a young man. Yeah, fresh-faced. So the eyes would be halfway down, somewhere about there. And you think, are you crazy? But it's true. And then I make another line in the middle because that's where the nose is. Looks like a crucifix. And the ears always fall in line with the eyes. So I know the ears are going to come somewhere here. So I just put my little markers in. You know, it's just everything's a little marker. And then we've got the ears and the bottom of the nose in the same line, like that. And then lower down, it's always dark under the nose. And then I'm going to put the mouth in. And you think, how do you map it all together? It's actually very easy. It's just mapping. Now the chin, there's a nice piece of chin there. So everything is circular. The nose is circular. You know, I just put a little bubble in to let me know where it is. The eyes, again, I put little circles in there. And that's the beginning. The hairline is up there somewhere. The top of the head is there. So now I'm going to change this from F, and I'm going to go straight into it because I feel comfortable. I'm going to go straight into with my 6B. So let's start. I always like to start with shadows. So I start dark, put the shadows in around the eyes. Always shadow around the eyes, even though people like to get rid of these lines because they call them, oh, I didn't sleep. But we have them naturally. I use my finger just to blend in a little bit. Look at that, nice and easy. Now that bubble on the nose. So even if you've got a long nose or a flat nose or a bubble nose, there's always a bubble there somewhere. So I'm just going to put the nostrils where I think the nostrils should go. Again, it looks like a Martian right now, but it will come together because I'm just focusing on shadow there, a bit of shadow there by the nose, a bit of shadow there by the other. And because the light is on one side, I can throw shadow in here on this side and use my finger to soften it. Don't want him to look too hard and aggressive. Now, straight down here is where the mouth is. So I put the mouth in, and the mouth is actually not a straight line. If you think of the mouth as going back into the face, so there's got to be shadow. So the mouth goes in here, so there's shadow there, and there's shadow there, and it extends out. And below, under the mouth, there's that darkness where the chin is. This young man, let's give him a little bit of a stubble, the George Clooney look. Yeah, so it's like he wanted to shave but didn't have time, or maybe wanted to keep it this way. So there we go, put a bit of shadow in there. Now it doesn't look like anything because I haven't done anything with the eyes. And they always say once you've done the eyes, you've got the person. But I don't want to get the person yet. I want to show you how easy it is to create a face. Now under the nose, there's always shadow. And again, you notice I'm just using my finger to darken it. I'm using my 6B, which is one of the darker ones. I could go even darker and use a 9B, but I don't want to because it breaks very easily. Okay, now I've got the basics in, got where the nose, the ears are around there somewhere. And I know people say, oh, I've got big ears. And actually it doesn't make sense really because people don't have big ears. It's all proportionated with everything else. So I'm going to put my 6B down. I'm going to get into using my HB. HB is hard and black, so it's balanced. Now I can work with more detail. So, and I might as well go for the eyes. So when it comes to eyes, find that corner. The corner of the eye should fall with the corner of the nose. Okay, so you can check it. Yep, that's about right. And there's a little bit there of the nose. So I just put that bit of the nose in there, throw that bit. Notice that wasn't correct, but it doesn't matter. In art, you can go over everything. I go up there, there's the eye. Let's look at this eye, nice bubble. I go around. As I said, we're making art easy. So people try and complicate it, but we don't need to. There's some fixed rules. Top of the eye, it's always dark. Middle of the eye, there's always a light that hits it in a strange way. So without even looking at the eye, I know that because I'm using pencil, it's always going to be dark, little outline around there. At the top of the eye is dark. Then I come down, there's always a line over the eye, and there's a definite line under the eye. So I leave a little space, and I put it in. And now there's more shadow, but I'm going to use another pencil to do that. I go round. Now let's put the eyebrows in, yeah. Nice, juicy eyebrows, yeah. And obviously over the eye, there's darkness. On the inside of the eye, there's darkness. Middle of the eye, there's a bit of shadow as well. I could have made this nose a little longer, but it's okay. Sometimes when you over-exaggerate the nose, people get upset. So you've got to keep people happy. If you're going to draw their face, you've got to try and compromise. But as I said, there aren't any mistakes in art because you can always correct it. If he looked really strange, I can call it a cartoon, yeah? Or I can call it expressionism, where I decide to draw him according to how I feel and add little bits to it. Like Salvador Dali was always dealing with his emotions and his mental illness, and he put a lot of things into pictures to try and evoke certain things. So I could do that with portraits if I wanted to, but I like to keep it as close to that personality as possible. We've got that bit there, we've got the eyebrow thrown in. Once the eyes start forming, it starts to look a little bit like the person. I'm going to go back to my 6B because I want to put some more shadow in here. So a bit more shadow. And again, keep it fluid, keep it fast. Don't panic if something doesn't look right. You can go back to it at any time. Now, under the eye, there's always shadow. Always shadow. I can add it. Some people use a rubber to erase bits of the eye. I can come back to that later. So there we go. I might take the mouth up slightly. I might not, depending on what happens when I look at it a little closer. There, now the mouth. I'll put the shadow in, then I'll use the HB again. So, there we go. Now let's get the shape of the face right. The shape of the face requires that HB, because I want to just darken everything. So, there's a definite, distinct cheekbone right there. So we throw that cheekbone in. You notice I can get darker and darker with everything. The cheekbone goes in. I'll shorten the chin, because I made the chin a little bit long. I was a bit too concerned to give a George Clooney look. I don't need to. Okay, I throw that shadow in. And now let's get some detail. So, in line with the ear, we've got that there. The ear's dark. And I'm scribbling away. It's a HB, it's hard, it's black, it moves quickly on the paper. Actually, I'm using what they call bamboo paper, so it's a bit of texture. It allows you to, when you use your fingers to smudge things in, it works better. So let's go back to that HB, 6B, sorry, and darken all the area we want to. There's quite a dark looking picture. So we're going to smudge in what I've made dark. Now up here, the hairline starts from here. And like I said at the beginning, the eyes are halfway down the head. And people don't believe me until they actually measure it and realize from the top of the head to the eyes, it's actually halfway. Yep, it is halfway. And if it isn't, something is wrong. So although humans aren't made the same, the rules are the same. So I'm just putting in darkness. Ooh. Taking this all the way down. And just playing with the texture of the hair. Now, because it's pencil, some people find pencil is limiting. Other people find pencil is beautiful. It really depends on how you feel. I tend to use pencil just when I'm trying out new things. Otherwise, some people go straight into painting without a pencil at all. And as I said before, I don't use a rubber. I want to see every single mistake and work into the mistake. So it's getting there. The top of the hairline is up there somewhere. And if you start to spend too long on a portrait, because you're getting too familiar, you're getting too stressed out by it, and you should stop. So it should be something where you're having fun, you're relaxed, something to do on a Sunday when you're relaxing, when there's nothing on the TV or you're fed up with the computer games and you want to do something just to unwind and it's too cold to go for a walk. So this is something you can do quite easily. So as I say, I'm making it as easy as possible. So again, look, follow the line. I look at the nose. I see in the nose there's a hole, but the hole is dark on the inside and it gets softer and lighter on the outside of the nose. And then on the outside there's a little indication of darkness there. And then I use the side of the pencil. Notice I'm using the side of the pencil, especially for the 6B. Making sure it is the 6B. And I keep working with it. See, I've gone over a little bit, doesn't matter. The ear's going to be there somewhere. And now let's put that mouth in, but let's use the F. The F is for fine. So I want to get a bit of detail. So I don't want to make his mouth look freaky, like he's got food in it when there's nothing there. So fine allowed me to just make it a bit more tidy, if you like. And again, as I said, the mouth is something, it's curved, it's not a straight line. So there's shadows on curves and you've got to show that shadow. It's also, there's a line in the middle of the mouth and I put that in. By putting that in, it allows me to then detail and make sure the corner is visible. And just above the corner of the mouth, there's a bit of darkness there. So I'm going to use my 6B again, just to throw it in. I throw that in. And always at the end of every portrait, you hope the person doesn't just want to kill you. You want to make it look like them. And if it doesn't, just call it a cartoon, as I said. I do that every time. I've done many cartoons in the pub, but usually they're drunk and nobody knows. So let's keep it fun, as art should be. Let's keep it fun. And you might even do the same thing an hour later and be completely different. That's what the beauty of art. You know, it's just about how you connect one bit with another and it all comes together. There's the ears, there's the other side. It should fall here. Now, because it's tilted slightly, I can see more of, it's not quite a straight on front view, so there's more on this side. So because there's more on this side, there's going to be a bit more face on this side. So I just pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. And although I'm using my H, I just want to get this in the right place. So there's a definite line there where that ear is. Checking that. And all the time, just keep checking things are in the right place. So I'm checking that ear is right. Looking at the ear, I always like to work the inside of the ear. And you can see there's more than, if I was to paint this, I can see 3 colors in the ear. People say, what the hell are you talking about? But there's the pink, there's the red, and there's a greeny tint. I often use green in portraits, and people think, well, I'm not green. I go, well, you don't have to be green, but green pulls out the real colors of your skin. So I use green a lot doing portraits. So this person has got a nice ear. Ear has more character to it than mine. So let's put that ear in, and now we can go back to the hair. And we should be done very quickly. And I'm using the side of the brush to just play with the hair. So under the eyes, there's a bit of shadow and a bit more. Not too much. And then there's a little indentation there. The problem is with art, you've got to learn to know when to stop. Because you could keep working on it and then you say, right, let's make it photorealism and make it look like a photograph. And then you go, nah, I'm fed up, I'm not doing it anymore. I've had enough. And then that's when you should stop. So I can honestly say that I usually stop when I think I've had enough. Because the more I look at every picture, I can see that there's more work to be done. And nearly there. Nearly there. Let's get that button on the nose. Nose always has a little button underneath. It's a bit dark and the button goes up. Create that button, create that button, create that button. There we go. And then there's the side. It's not so dark. And the eye should be darker inside. But some people want that look. They want to have their eyes standing out. And always under the chin, there's another line under the chin. It's not because the person has a double chin at all. It's just, it's a normal, natural occurrence of light. And where you have light, there's always a dark line next to it. So I'm using my finger just to smudge things in. Notice the finger smudge. Back to the 6B, just to throw in a bit of darkness. Break the pencil, that's why I screamed. And also we need to make sure that we can tell the difference between shadow and the eyebrows. Okay, so a few seconds and we're going to stop. And what you can do with art, if you want to highlight something, you just put darkness behind it. And this is a technique, I call it cross-hatching. Cross-hatch is where I create a background. I do lines one way, and then I do lines the other way. This is called cross-hatch. And it's a good way to separate the edge of the face from everything around it. And now with crosshatch, you can see now why I've done it. Because I want to make the face stand out just a little bit without having to colour everything in. So cross-hatching is a technique we use. You can see I can reinforce the outer lines using cross-hatching. There, they're there, they're there. And if the ear was too big, so I can just chop it down a little bit by putting the crosshatch lines in there. So that's an example of art made easy, I hope. And you can play with the pencils to create the effect you want. So there we go. That's a quick rundown of having fun with art. Not finished, but we'll stop.